I'm Thomas.
Today we'll be discussing VR, but before we delve into this phenomenon that is sweeping the world, we must first understand what it is. Thomas.
Well, VR stands for virtual reality. Now this simply means near reality or close reality. Okay, so virtual reality is the process of a computer creating a three-dimensional environment, which can be explored in and interacted with by the user. Simply, this means that an environment is created which the user is placed into. The headset allows them to look around in the environment as it has sensors tracking head movement.
Most people will recognize VR in the form of the HTC Vive or the Oculus Rift. This form of VR became most popular on YouTube and is where someone wears a headset that projects the 3D environment around them and they will play a game in that environment.
Now, due to VR being digital, we can't physically interact with anything in this virtual world, and it does require a lot of space to be able to move around in. This is why we use specialized controllers or gamepads for VR. Now this obviously has limitations, such as interacting with something in the real world that is not within your virtual environment, like a wall. Although it is well known for its history with video games, virtual reality isn't just for games, but that does seem to be its most popular output at the moment.
Though this isn't the first time virtual reality has been in circulation for commercial use, is it, Thomas?
No, Jack, it isn't. Sadly, some people might remember the Nintendo Virtual Boy from 1993.
This was the first big implementation to try and make VR a huge hit. It involved a headset with a stand and was controlled via a gamepad.
But the graphics weren't that great. In the end, a lot of people got motion sick from the Virtual Boy and it didn't sell nearly as well as hoped. Overall, it was a commercial failure.
Yes, but do you know why people got motion sick? See, the problem with the Virtual Boy was that it didn't have anything for sound, and what you would hear was everything around you. And what happens is when your ears and eyes don't match up, your senses go into overload and make you feel ill.
Though some people do just feel motion sick from VR, right?
Yes, those are the weak.
Alright, VR has come a long way since the Virtual Boy. We are now at the point in time where you can look around and see an environment around you, just like in real life. Point is though, VR has been in development for a very long time, ever since the mid-1900s.
My god, it's a phone booth!
No, actually, it's just a sensorama. It was actually a feeder that stimulated all your senses and offered a 3D perspective on everything.
And that was merely the first of many. It took a long time for VR to ever really come back from the dead. But in the 1990s, many arcade games began using VR to better immerse the player, such as the Sega VR1, the previously mentioned Virtual Boy, and even the VFX1, a virtual headset much like the ones today that played games such as Descent, Star Wars Dark Forces, System Shock, and Quake.
And then we arrive at today, where VR has taken a massive leap forward, mainly in the technology that is the HTC Vive and the Oculus Rift.
Now, VR has many possibilities, both creatively and in society. The most obvious creative output would be video games. Through VR, developers now have the ability to place a person in the desired environment rather than them having to look at the environment through a TV screen.
Now this allows for a more immersive experience for the player and overall a more fulfilling game. VR allows gamers to be placed in immersive situations that are improbable at best in real life. These situations include being a space pirate, performing surgery, and even going about your day in a boring office job.
But VR has abilities beyond that, such as being adapted for use in shopping, such as IKEA VR, or even for use on normal web pages like Facebook and YouTube, where they now have 360-degree videos specifically made for use with VR.
And now the Navy are even beginning to use VR for training purposes. They are using it to prepare sailors for a variety of situations, such as repairing damaged pipes and practice for an emergency situations.
It isn't just the Navy employing the use of VR, it is also doctors who are using it for practicing surgery and preparing them for many situations that can arise during surgery.
And now VR is even helping bring the world closer together. They are doing this by giving people tours or videos of different parts of the world that can be explored in virtual reality.
This allows anyone with VR to experience different cultures without leaving their home.
But now this is where we get to the downsides of VR.
Yeah, it is super expensive.
That is correct, Jack. The prices of VR range from about $400 USD to $800 USD, which is close to 1,000 Australian dollars. There is a cheaper alternative if you're looking for one. If you have a phone that can handle the capabilities of virtual reality, you can buy a special headset and use the VR through that. No games and controllers are added.
Or does that mean VR's not been selling as well as hoped?
Well, actually, it's actually pretty impossible to tell at the moment, due to VR has only been in circulation for the last couple of months. Before launch, they hope that annually, VR sales will grow at a 99% per annum rate between 2015 and 2020. Due to the fact of its troubled launch, for example, the Oculus Rift pre-orders were never delivered, and loyal customers were told to buy the $600 headset again at retail stores or wait for an excruciating long time for their pre-order. The sales may be hurt.
It seems only time will tell what is the actual future of VR.
Well, the future of VR is mostly just improving what we have right now. VR is not exact and has plenty of problems, especially with the graphics. Immersion can only be created with a real-life look to its created environments, or at least a specific style.
This is why VR failed at first. The images and creative possibilities were very limited, even as recent as 2 to 3 years ago. We've come a long way with VR, but we definitely need to make some improvements. This technology is new and experimental.
That wraps up VR, doesn't it?
Not quite yet! VR has had no political impacts, nor will it seem to have any way in the future. It hasn't affected the economy, but it can make our whole world cheaper as people look to existing virtually as an avatar, and therefore they'll buy all their items like clothing and such online, and it won't cost nearly as much. And then the physical items will drop in price as well. Then imagine our entire culture changing as we learn in a digital classroom and don't need to leave our own home to talk to our friends. We just do it virtually from our room.
Sounds pretty good, actually.
Now that about wraps up VR, Thomas. We're
Okay,
done
then.
here.
See you next time!